Good morning. This morning, I want to talk about President Emerson Mnangagwa's attempt at addressing the Gukurawundi genocide, which he was part of. I think for him, it is not a noble idea to go forward with, because as one of the perpetrators of the Gukurawundi genocide, he cannot, under any circumstances, be the leader of uh, trying to find information and to hopefully lead to a place of healing. He's not the leader to do that. Somebody else will do that. Someone who was not part of Gukurawundi. I wonder who advised Emerson, because that was terrible advice. Take a look at what Robert Mugabe did. Robert Mugabe never addressed the Gukurawundi issue. He knew that he was part of the problem and he knew that he could not be part of the solution. He just said that it was a moment of madness. It was not enough to address the emotions and needs of the victims, but at least it was, to some extent, an admission of guilt. By Robert Mugabe saying it was a moment of madness, we are seeing a national leader who was embarrassed by what he did not know how to handle it, how to face the people that he killed in the 80s. So he brushes it aside and says it was a moment of madness. But it didn't say it did not happen. But Mnangagwa is leading the chiefs to a place where they have to say that it was not a genocide. You see, that is where the problem is. Mnangagwa is opening a can of worms, which he was just supposed to leave it like that. Mnangagwa was supposed to focus on the grander scheme of this bigger vision of looting the country dry and don't address the Gukurawundi issue. The people in Matebele land have already been oppressed by Idi Mnangagwa. That's enough. Gukurawundi happened in the 80s. That's enough. For him to bring back the wounds and to tell the people who died, to tell them that it was not a genocide, or trying, it is attempt is not to address the pain of the Ndebele people. No, it is to address his own emotions, his own need to be safe. At the end of all this whole process, he wants those atrocities not to be declared as genocide, to be no, some some fights between the dissidents and government forces, and then there were some civilian casualties, which is unfortunate. So the government might compensate the unfortunate civilians, to water it down to a level where it's not really a genocide. It was a genocide. A lot of the world people are affected by it, and they are still affected by it today. I saw one of the uh, uh, a piece of information that came from the government that claims that it's around 3,000 people that were affected. I mean, why would Mnangagwa do that? At least keep quiet. Robert Mugabe kept quiet about it and he survived. Okay, people are okay. But when you start lying and you say only 3,000 people were affected, when you know that is thousands, tens of thousands of people that were affected, and there's a lot of mass graves that are known by the Ndebele people in Matebele, they don't need a commission of truth and reconciliation. They know exactly where those mass graves are. For Mnangagwa to say that no, this thing doesn't exist, is actually harming and hurting the people more than you did then. You are harming and hurting the people more. It should just stop this Gukurawundi thing. He must not even talk about it. It's not him. It is not his duty to address it, because he's the perpetrator. He's the one who killed thousands of Ndebeles in the 80s. And he's trying to save face so that he doesn't go to jail. The best thing that he can do is to either keep quiet about it, rather have people in Matebeleland ever asking the government about the Gukurawundi issue, and the government does nothing. As long as it is in power, there is no way that he can safely and righteously administer a path forward as far as Gukurawundi is concerned. Because the best thing that Mnangagwa can do is to apologize to the people of Matabeleland. And after apologizing, by accepting also that it was a genocide, and he should resign as the president of the country. He should say, well, reflecting at the things that me and Robert Mugabe and the other soldiers did to the Ndebele people in the 1980s, I feel in my fair view as a president of this country that I can no longer in good conscience lead these people forward. I therefore tender my resignation and let, I don't know, anyone in ZANU PF or Nelson Chamisa to take over the country, and perhaps it is that person who will lead truth and reconciliation. Because right now, there is nobody in Zimbabwe who will be speaking truth under the guns of Emerson Mnangagwa. I do not blame Chief Charumpira's utterances that it was not a genocide. I will tell you why. Because Chief Charumpira is under duress. What do we expect the indunas of Matabeleland to say when Mnangagwa, the perpetrator with the military, Zimbabwe military with the guns at their heads, what do you expect those chiefs to what conclusion do you expect those chiefs to reach to? Do you expect those chiefs and the people in Matabeleland to conclude that, well, it was a genocide, a lot of people died, and the only way that they want for a justice is to see their perpetrators in jail? Do you think that those chiefs are going to be able to reach to that conclusion? But I can tell you, in the hearts of the Ndebele people, they want Itim Nangagwa to go to jail, to rot in hell, and all the people that committed genocide. That's what they want. But because Itim Nangagwa is a sitting president, he has got the military weapons of the country to come for it. It is disrespect. That's the word I'm looking for. It's extreme disrespect. Robert Mugabe did not disrespect the Ndebele people. He knew he was wrong, and he kept quiet about it. He didn't address it. He knew he was wrong. We knew he was wrong, but he knew that time had passed. He cannot change history. And the only thing that we got from it from Robert Mugabe was that it was a moment of madness. To me, it's an admission of guilt. It's not enough, but at least it pacifies the people. It makes you have be more peaceful. You understand? At least the sitting president admits it was a moment of madness. He did not answer whether it was genocide or not, but at least he admitted guilt, moment of madness, and said, "Okay, my people, there's moment of madness. I cannot change it. I am the president. I don't want to get out of power. But what I did was wrong. But I don't want to go to court for it. Let's just stick to moment of madness and carry on running the country and not open up old wounds." That was Robert Mugabe's position. It wasn't enough to the victims, but it was enough to keep the peace in the country. What Emerson is doing might actually trigger some tribal tensions that we will not be able to handle in the future. It has been good for Emerson Mnangagwa all along to avoid the Gukurawundi issue. If I was his advisor, I'd advise him to avoid the issue at all. Rather have the parliamentarians always keep on saying Gukurawundi in parliament and do not address it because they're not the right person to address it. Even if it has got good intentions, okay, it will not end well. Because as I told you, that there is nobody in Matabeleland who will feel free to say whatever it is that they want to say. Even Chief Charumpira and other chiefs are going to come to a conclusion that says it was not a genocide because that's what they believe Mnangagwa expects them to derive it. The Ndebele chiefs and the people in Matabeleland expect that Mnangagwa expects them to say that it was not a genocide. So they will not say it was a genocide. Which chief in Zimbabwe can withstand the might and power and weaponry of Idi Mnangagwa and his regime? What is his name? The other chief that was fired 3, 4, 5 years back. No. I forgot now. I'm sure you know the person I'm talking about. I just forgot his name. He stood against the government. He's lost his chieftaincy. Too bad my memory is not I don't have a good memory, man, of people's names. I don't know about chief. Let's leave it. I'm sure you know him. He lost his chieftains. You think that if Chief Charumbira was going to say, We are not sure if it was a genocide or not, but it's most likely that it was a genocide, and he will say that, oh, and the perpetrators are still in government. We think that that Chief Chalumpura will still be a chief. He knows that. Actually, here's the thing about Zimbabwe. The Ndebele chiefs do not need state agents to tell them, "Iwewe, don't say this." They know. It is already ingrained in their brains to know what they're dealing with. When they're dealing with Itim Mnangagwa and the regime in ZANU-PF, they know what they are dealing with. Even the Ndebele women and those old men in Matabeleland who went through Gukurawundi, they know what they are dealing with. They are not going to open their mouth and say, I hate Mnangagwa. I hate Robert Mugabe. I hate those people who did this genocide to us. They are not going to say it. They are clever enough to say, we forgot about it. No, it was not a genocide, because they want to live. They want to survive. They know what Edim Mnangagwa expects from them. You see, in my conclusion, Edim Mnangagwa is not doing this thing because he wants the people of Matabeleland to find closure. He's doing it because he wants to gain legitimacy as an illegal president who has done atrocities in the past that are deserving jail time. He wants to clear his name. He is not interested in healing the wounds of my people. By opening this Gukurawundi whole agenda that Mnangagwa was doing, he's opening a can of worms, and he is inflicting pain on people that he have been trying to heal. And it is a major way of disrespecting my people. That is one of the biggest disrespectful thing a certain president can do to his own citizens. And it doesn't care. You know, the bad thing or the terrible thing is that he doesn't even recognize that this is actually disrespectful. He doesn't see it that way. To him, it's just about him to keep himself safe from global attacks. So he has to have this commission that will come up with a conclusion that it was not a genocide, it was something minor, and therefore it will keep him safe from any future prosecution. But that's not how you do it. Okay, the apartheid government in South Africa did not go through a rampage, or go through a process of trying to deny that apartheid happened. It happened. They accepted it. It happened. It was terrible. It was bad. Okay, people get forgiven after we know what you did was bad. Itim Mnangagwa cannot be forgiven when we know what he did, but he goes out to say, I didn't do it. I am innocent. That is what is going to cause the wounds of the people not to be healed. And the Ndebele people are okay with Robert Mugabe because at least he admitted guilt. He did, to some level, he admitted guilt. Okay, he didn't put himself in jail, but he didn't even resign, but he admitted guilt. But Mnangagwa is trying to water down the crime, the sinfulness, and that is what triggers hate. Hate. People are gonna be hurt even more, and there is no telling what tensions are going to come out of this. So I do not know who advised Itim Mnangagwa to do this Gukurawundi thing. It was bad advice, and it will not end well, in my own humble view. I hope you have a good day.